I mean, like I said, it was hard at first. We were all in tears. She was angry. She did not want to take any medicine.
And it was shocking because I didn't know what it was, and I had never even heard of it. And it was upsetting because I was only 13 years old and I had to deal with a lifelong disease.
I first heard about lupus a little after I was 13. My brother has lupus in his lungs. My brother's lupus has been under control for nearly the entire time that he's had it.
My mom was diagnosed with lupus about 10 years ago now. Disease attacked her heart. The drugs that you have to take for the disease complicated matters and basically killed her heart. She was 72 at the time.
I was diagnosed in December 2003 at the age of 33. When I first found out that I had lupus, I was scared.
Lupus is just a complex disease. It affects everybody completely differently. It manifests itself differently.
With lupus, it's a ghost and it floats around and it attacks anything it wants to attack. It attacks your joints, it attacks your heart, it attacks your kidney, it attacks wherever it wants to attack.
My lupus was very active, and it remained active for about 5 years strong before we could even get it under control.
For the most part, people are treating symptom after symptom after symptom. They're not even really treating the lupus.
The drugs that are supposed to be there to help suppress the symptoms kill the rest of your body.
The big side effect that happened to me is that it deteriorated my bones.
I think a lot of people are encouraged by what's happening right now with the pharmaceutical companies in terms of looking at new treatments for lupus, but the reality is that right now we're not there yet, and we don't have a cure, and we don't have infallible treatments.
Lupus is challenging to treat, and the drugs can be scary, and it's just overall a scary thing to go through, especially at my age.
Her courage is just unbelievable for her age, for such a young girl to be going through this. I'm just very proud of her.
And I had to make a decision to either live with the disease, learn how to live with it, and live my best life now, or either I could have that pity party, sit around and be sad that, you know, why me, woe is me attitude, but I chose not to do that.
But positively, I've been able to inspire people, I hope, and it's just made me a stronger person.
One of the biggest ways Jessie has inspired me is when we did our very first lupus walk this past May, 2010. I had no idea they would end up raising over $4,000 in 2 weeks. I was amazed. And the team name they came up with, Wishing for Remission, I thought was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
I really felt horrible until I found out that I wasn't alone, and the walk really made me realize that.
I think about how wonderful my experience has been with the Lupus Foundation of America, Georgia chapter. And I think about how far we've come from when I first got involved about 5 years ago. And in 2008, winning Chapter of the Year for LFA, we have the largest walk in the country for lupus. But there is so much more that we could do.
The programs of the Georgia Lupus Foundation is very important to help raise awareness, to raise money for research, for support, for people who need someone to talk to. It's very important.
We've got to have the resources in order to get the word out. We've got to have the resources in order to improve treatment, we've got to have the resources in order to find a cure.
But we need more people to pay attention to this disease, and we need more people to raise the consciousness and to learn more about it, and to give more funding to a disease that is by far the most underfunded disease in comparison to the number of patients that suffer with it.
We need to raise more awareness just overall, because most people don't even know what lupus is.
It is without a doubt the lowest funded disease, with 1.6 million people in the United States suffering with lupus. And so there are so many things that we're doing right here in the local community that are really helping the 55,000 Georgians live with lupus. And 90% of every dollar raised here in Georgia stays here in Georgia, which is really, really rare for any philanthropy.
What would make me the happiest girl in the world? Well, as far as lupus is concerned and being the happiest girl in the world, definitely if we were able just to find the cure, raise enough money to find a cure.
I firmly believe that even though we haven't come far enough yet with the money needed for this disease, it doesn't mean we can't get there.
This is really a night of hope for me and other lupus patients, because for the first time in 52 years, they're coming out with a new drug to help patients with lupus.
And the more that people give tonight as part of this gala, the more we can touch those living with lupus and help them and their families.
Lupus isn't the only disease that deserves funds, but it needs it just as much as the other diseases. And just coming from me, I'm only 13 and I can't do this by myself. And I really need everybody else to pitch in and help raise funds and awareness for lupus.
I'd probably give my life. Anything. Any amount of money, if I had it. I would give anything for a cure. And I'm hoping, because she's so young, that there is a cure in her lifetime.